Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about how to choose the correct position on the fingerboard when you're playing a song. Because obviously, well, maybe not obviously to you, depending on where you are as a bass player right now. And by where you are as a bass player, I mean not where you are in the world. I mean where you are in your journey as a bass player, whether you're just starting out or whether you've been playing for a few years or you've been playing for 20 years, But there's a lot of different positions on the fretboard. You could be playing down here. You could be playing here. You could be playing up here. You could be playing down here. Okay, there's a lot of different positions on the fretboard, and it can be daunting. Somebody says, "Okay, it's this key, and let's do this." And where are you supposed to go to? That's the thing that I want to talk about today. And I've got 4 cool little tips, cool hacks that I want to share that might point you in the right direction. But before we get into that, I want to say, if you haven't been to scottsbasslessons.com, make sure you go over there. There's a ton of free stuff for you to get stuck into. We've got a podcast going on there that's every week. We've got the Bass Players Toolkit. It's completely free. It's got a modes mini course. It's got a backing track library. It's got a bass buyer's guide. It's got a bassline creation guide that's like 30 or 40 minutes long. It's got PDFs, the full Monty, the full 9 yards. So go check that out if you're new to Scott's Bass Lessons, and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then you'll get notified when we release new lessons like this, right? So anyway, let's get into these 4 dirty and actionable tips. Okay, so tip number 1 is knowing what key the piece of music is in. Knowing what key it's in. Is it in C major? Is it in A flat major? Is it in B flat major? Is it in C minor? Is it in F minor? That information is going to give you a good indication of where your home base, pun kind of intended, your home base is going to be on the fretboard to start with, okay? So how can you find out the key? Well, if you've got a lead sheet or a chord chart, look at how many sharps or flats it's got. Okay, that's going to give you a good indication of it. Well, not a good indication. It will give you the information that you need to derive, what key it's in. If you're an Academy member, make sure you check out the course that we released, the reading chart survival guide a few weeks ago, because all of the information is in there that you're going to need about reading sharps and flats and stuff like that. So first of all, and if you're not an Academy member, check out the 14-day free trial. I'll put the link below. So first of all, look at the key signature, okay? Can you work out the key from that? How many sharps it got, how many flats it's got? That's going to indicate that information. If you haven't got that, then there's 2 things you can do. A lot of the time, the starting chord of the actual piece will be the key it's in. So if it starts on an E major, it's going to be in the key of E. Now, it's not all the time. That doesn't happen all the time. Sometimes it starts on like a 2 or a 5 and a 1, and goes like that. So for instance, like Autumn Leaves starts on a 2 chord, then goes to a 5, and then goes to the key that's in that chord 1. So 2, 5, 1. So there is going to be situations where the first chord of the piece isn't the key that the piece is in, okay? And in that situation, you're going to need to know about chord function. Now, I could create not only a tutorial, I could create, 2 or 3 courses on chord function and understanding of chord functions, okay? But just give you a quick tip, look out for a 5 chord moving to a 1, okay? So 2 5 1s, and that will, a lot of the time, generally show you where that chord 1 is, what key it's in. And a lot of the time, guys, just listen out for that overarching note, okay? That overarching note. So if I was going, you can kind of hear that note through everything. know, you can hear that note. So that was like way back when my little hack that I used to use when I was trying to hear the key. So, but understanding what key it is going to give you a really great insight of where you're going to be on the fretboard. Okay. And this ties directly into tip number 2. So tip number 2 is, once you know the key of what the piece is in, you should try and assign the second finger major scale pattern. Okay, so many of you will know this scale. Let's think like C major. Okay. That's the second finger position for a C major scale. It's called the second finger position. It starts on the second finger. And it's kind of the first pattern that you learn when you're learning a major scale on guitar or the bass, because it's the easiest and it's the coolest, because it has so much information in there. Now, once you know that, okay, say for instance, if somebody said, okay, it's in the key of A flat, or I open up a lead sheet and I think, okay, it's in the key of A flat. It's got 4 flats. Yeah. Where's my hand going to go? Okay, well, it's going to go in this position. I'm going to assign the second finger major scale shape. And that's where my home base is really going to be for that tune. It's where, if anything happens, I'm right back down there. That's the kind of home base. So that's how I find that position. And you can even see this in the beginning of this video I played. That's all within that position, okay? So assigning that position, that second finger position to the key, is going to become your home base. Now, if it was in a minor key, let's say if it was in C minor, then I would assign the first finger position of the natural minor scale, and that would be my home base. So if it was in C minor, I would go down here and use that position. Now, I'm not saying you don't go out of that position. We're going to be talking about that in the further tips. But to start with, when you're looking for that, where shall I put my hand? It's okay, what key is it in? And then assign, if it's in a major key, assign the second finger major scale, okay, to that position. That's going to give you your initial position that you'll be playing out of. Or if it's in a minor key, the first finger natural minor scale. Okay, tip number 3 is understanding the chords and the chord functions within the second finger position of the major scale. Okay, so if we take our example of A flat major, okay, I now want you to understand, or the aim is to understand, that if it was a 2-5-1, it can all be found within that position, okay? So 3-6-2-5-1. Okay, and now I'm using these numbers. It's the chord numbering system. Each major scale, okay, what you can do is you give each note a number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the octave, okay? And each one of these numbers represents a chord. So chord 3 to chord 6 to chord 2 to chord 5 to chord 4 to chord 5 to chord 3 to chord 6 to chord 2 to chord 5 to chord 1. Boom, boom. Okay, can you hear that as I'm playing it? You're like, oh, that sounds like a chord sequence. That's because it is a chord sequence, because it's all represented within this position of the major scale, second finger position. Now it is, represented in other positions of the major scale, but I'm talking about that. Where's that home base? Okay, you know it's in A flat. Where are you going to put your hand? Put it down here to start with. Okay, so once you know the actual chords within the major scale, you should be practicing playing them. Okay, so and down. Okay, so knowing the chords, because then you can represent the chords as they go by, all within that one position. You don't need to be flying around the neck. You know, if it was, let's say a 1, 6, 2, 5. Okay, all I did there was going 1, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. Now down here I actually moved out of position. But my point is that all of these chords can be found within one position, and it's really beneficial if you learn how to represent the chords as they go by without moving out of that one position. And then when you do move out of the position, it's from choice, not because you have to. Okay, number 4, the fourth tip for today is understanding the other major scale positions, okay, which I'm going to show you in a minute, apart from the second finger position, and being able to move in and out of them, okay? So using the same information, you know, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, but in those different positions. So let's take A flat again, okay? So we've got the second finger position. Then we've got the fourth finger position where we play the major scale starting on our little finger. Okay. And then we've got the first finger position where we play the scale starting on our first finger. Okay. Now what you want to be able to do is do exactly the same thing as we did before. 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5. In the other positions, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6. Oh, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6, 2, 5, 1, 6, 2, 5. Okay, so, and what that does is it gives you complete freedom, okay, over the fingerboard. So we understand where all the chords are kept within that position and in with this position, and then again, obviously our second finger position there as well. And it gives us just complete freedom just by knowing those 3 positions. There's a second finger position, first finger, and hell, we've got the fourth finger position there as well. Okay, so we've got all of these. All these positions taken care of just by memorizing 3 simple positions, okay? Now, if you are an Academy member, make sure you check out the Scales and Arpeggios course, because all of this stuff and more is discussed in there. I go through all the fingering positions, but not only for the scales, but also for the arpeggios and all of those shenanigans as well. There's a lot of stuff. I think it's like 10 hours long. It's step-by-step 10-hour long course. So make sure you check that out if you are an Academy member. If you're not already an Academy member, go over to scottsbasslessons.com and check it out. It's a 14-day free trial, so you can sign up totally risk-free. Check it out. Get access to all the courses. Get access to all of our live weekly seminars with guys like Danny Momoris, Damien Erskine, Ed Friedland, Steve Lawson, Ariana Kapp, Todd Johnson. These guys are in every week doing live streams for the Academy members. So I would absolutely love it if you come over and check out what we're going on, because it is awesome. Now guys, other than that, obviously subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you haven't been to scottsbasslessons.com yet, go over there, check out all the free stuff we've got. We've got the Bass Players Toolkit you can check out with all, cool shenanigans in there. And as always, take it easy and I'll see you in the shed. Bye.